They're 4 players who have been around for a super long time. They're all very individually talented, and they know exactly what it takes to win and what to do to win.
Luminosity Gaming is another really good team, but playing them, I feel like we kind of have an advantage because right now we're really good at Hardpoint. So whenever we play them, as long as we take a respawn, we usually beat them.
They slay. They're very hard to compete with killing-wise. They continuously go on streaks, and it's hard to shut down sometimes, but if you can compete with that, then usually you can hang with them. Obviously, you want to beat them in Search and Destroy because that's their weak game mode. It honestly could go to Game 5. It could be a 3-1. I think the way that we've been playing Search and Destroy, if we continue to do that here, I think we'll easily beat them.
OpTic Gaming versus Luminosity about to start, but Chance, before it does, I have to get your opinion. Luminosity have basically become a search and destroy squad. They're yet to drop one. It's been a staple to their success so far here at the Stage 1 playoffs. Does that continue against the Green Wall?
It very well might, but I think OpTic Gaming definitely has what it takes to take them down.
Okay, fair enough. Of course, a look at that map set, Momo. I mean, how is this one going to go?
I think Breakout Hardpoint straight away. I've got to favour Luminosity with that one. I just think they're too hot going into it. But Retaliation S&D, I'm thinking the complete opposite of Chance right now. And we'll see, but OpTic Gaming, I think, take their first S&D off him.
You said that, and Chance looked disgusted at you.
I don't know. I think the slaying power of Luminosity is too much right now.
Fair enough. Luminosity versus OpTic Gaming about to begin. Right. We can send it down to our fabulous casters for the series. It's Bucket and Courage.
Thank you so much, Benson. It is time to party. Luminosity versus OpTic Gaming. This is a match we all expected to see in the winner's bracket round 2. Instead, we're getting it for an elimination match, and this is going to decide who's going home with 40 grand and who can walk away with that guaranteed 80 grand and potential going the distance for that $200,000 first place prize.
What a shame. We only walk away with $10,000 per player here this weekend, but there's a hell of a lot more money on the line. Remember, first place, $200,000 themselves, but really quickly, we have a packed crowd here at the MLG Arena. Folks in the venue, are you guys excited for Championship Sunday?
Yeah, they're waking up here in Columbus. I like it.
I love it. Nothing gets me more hyped. $500,000 on the line today.
Absolutely massive finish here to our $700,000 Stage 1 of the CWL Global Pro League, and we're starting things off on Breakout Hardpoint. Now, Jack, the last time these two teams met up was back at Dallas, the MLG Open there, and when we saw these two teams match up in the first Hardpoint, Luminosity was up by 100 points and blew the lead. OpTic Gaming then went on to come back in a Search and Destroy and go up 2-0, but it went all the way to a Game 5. The bad news for OpTic, though, the Game 4, which Luminosity won the Hardpoint, was on this map, Breakout, and they did it by a large margin.
Listen, we know LG are one of the few teams in competitive Call of Duty that can hang with the likes of OpTic Gaming, especially in slang, but prior to this series today, I caught up with Slacked, and I was talking a little bit about what went wrong yesterday for them in their match first phase. He said, Jack, for as long as I can remember, this trio of myself, Classic, and Octane, we have never lost a series where we drop all 3 respawns. He literally doesn't know if that's ever happened in his career. That's a big statement from FaZe, and OpTic are going to look to do the same thing here.
Taking a look at Octane, he was the man just doing work against United last night. His NV4 was so pure. You saw him just laser beaming opponents.
Oh yeah, and look, that's what he's gonna try to do here now. Against the likes of OpTic Gaming, he's the player in the Hardpoint, not worrying about those back spawns as he's got his teammate Slacked watching over that one now. Great start for LG in this game, 32-7 currently the score, and they've got the exact setup they want. Octane's goal here, just watch that outer wall run, peeks, sees nothing, so he'll help his team in middle.
Hey, Classic and Slack did such a great job. You saw arrow number 2, that was Classic. He was watching the front door. Slack was a little bit further back. Now Classic's gonna rotate, helping in the gunfights with Octane as Slack is watching that front door. Perfect teamwork, the communication is on point, and look at this, a 4 streak for Octane, 4 streak for Classic. Slack is on a 2 streak. We are going to see some score streaks in play if these two players keep it up.
Oh yeah, and the big thing right there is that OpTic decided to finally back off that wall run. They just give up the time. They realize if they keep charging that, you mentioned those streaks, they would have just fed them to the boys of LG.
Oh, no.
Scump not only stops Octane, but he kills Classic as well, stopping both players before streaks. Scump now lighting it up. He's 6-3, double positive.
And you can see everyone's putting away the Scarab. They want the big boy streaks here. Scorchers, Trinity Rockets, and of course, they're looking for some barrage. And we are on board with Scump, who is now taking his turn to heat up. 5 straight kills. Scump trying to get OpTic Gaming back in this game, and they can definitely do it here on Graveyard.
Oh, and this is exactly what they need from Scump. He's had one of the top slaying numbers so far this weekend in kills per map, just below his teammate Formal in third. Either way, Crimsix, the man that can do it with any weapon now. Surging into this hard point, this is what you love to see. Him and Karma, their job to watch that mid-spiral. The second the pinch comes in from Cave, they turn back around and win the trade for OpTic Gaming.
And earlier it was Crimsix watching that spiral. Now that job belongs to Scump, and Scump is going to rotate, find a player on loading. It's going to be against Slacked here. Both players just trying to buy time for support, and Scump is going to win this one. So he's now 8-4, double positive. You just milked every second on that Graveyard. This is a tight game already. 20 points separating these two squads, and Scump, he is on another spree.
Don't forget, this is an OpTic Gaming team that went 10-0 in Hardpoint in their weekend of the regular stage, and it's because of plays from what we see like this from Scump. 10-4 right now. So far this weekend, a big thing to point out too, Puckett, is that Crimsix is leading the entire tournament in Hardpoint time per map at 112 seconds. Right now, actually, with the least amount of time on his team. We'll see if that picks up as the game goes on.
Yeah, Krim was kind of in charge of watching the flanks. You'll see him more involved in the hills as this game progresses, but I got to give props to Luminosity. You're going up against the best team in Hardpoint in this tournament, and you have a lead. You had a fantastic hold on the first money hill back at the cell block. Now it's your second money hill on the commissary, and they were able to flush out OpTic Gaming and retake control. Will they be able to keep it? Slack looking for the final kills, and they're going to come in from Saints. Excellent teamwork here.
And that almost worked out for OpTic because Karma hit the lower wall run and the boys of LG actually didn't know. But he gets an awkward mantle as he's trying to surge into the hard point to get that pinch. He gets punished for it there. An unfortunate team kill from OpTic Gaming's Formal as well. Helps LG take that time at the end of our first rotation. It will be a 30-second lead, and now Saints on a 7 streak.
And Saints is the guy who has come to play this week, and we always talked, what is it going to take for Luminosity to get to a grand finals? You need all 4 players clicking. Saints, he's been a bit inconsistent. He's always been able to drop big numbers, but he is doing it on a regular basis. Slacked also a 6-point spree. He's working on streaks of his own, and there you go. Locks in the Trinity and the Barrage.
And folks, we might have just seen the moment where LG now take full command of this game. They've got a 50-second lead. They're in control of the spawns of the new hard point. They've got 5 streaks to work with, Puckett. This might get out of hand quick.
Yeah, the bombardment can just clear anyone out of this hill if OpTic does break through. So keep your eyes on Slacked. For now, though, it's Classic, the player that helped them lock down cell block from this exact same position. He's going to have Octane making his way across the map. So this is going to put a lot of pressure on Saints in the backline. Saints eliminated. It's all Slacked and Classic. One by one, they're falling. Can Classic make the hold and buy his team time?
OpTic are just being outslayed at the moment. Down by about 12 kills in the KD department. Coming into today, Chris, I saw a stat that was like 25-1 were the teams in overall map count where they had more kills than their opponent. LG are doing that right now. They've got streaks to use. 90 seconds now the lead for Luminosity.
And I think the difference in this one, we wanted to see the matchup of Octane versus Formal. Look at the numbers difference. 13-9 from Octane with the NV4. On the other side, your star AR player for OpTic Gaming, Formal, is double negative. He can always turn it around, but you're going to need him to if they want a chance in this game. They are down over 100 points, and Luminosity is knocking on the door of taking game 1 here.
And think, Formal is one of the best players in the game. When he's in a comfortable position, he knows where he can look, where he has to watch. He excels at being able to put shots down range. But when have you seen Formal getting a setup that he wants so far this game? It's been very uncomfortable for him. Krim still with only 5 seconds in the objective, and you've got Karma at near triple negative.
And Slacked, of course, still has these streaks. It looks like streaks are being called in. How effective will they be? Slacked finds Scump, and no kills are scored from the streaks. Slack's going to have to fight through 3 more players, and he's going to run directly into Karma's K-bar. His support, Saints, is gone. A lot of pressure on Octane, and Octane lights it up. 3 straight kills, looking for the 4th. That is a team. OpTic clean wiped by Octane. The Graveyard still with 25 points to go, and this could all go to Luminosity.
Octane is continuing to show up when his team needs them to. 205 to 78. OpTic Gaming potentially about to be 100-point club to kick off Championship Sunday.
What a start here from Luminosity last night. They send E United out of the tournament with a hot 3-0. They are opening up incredible here on Championship Sunday. They want revenge against this OpTic squad, and they are playing like it.
This is the best setup we've seen for OpTic Gaming at the Hill since the first Graveyard Hardpoint. They need a full 60. There's nothing else to say with that. Again, streaks being used to force OpTic out of position. These next few gunfights are going to be absolutely crucial. Some shaky shots, some slack, and he'll actually take a dip off the map. No, he's back on as he saves his own life.
Gravity not a problem there for Slack. He stays up, and it's now going to catch his opponents off guard. I bet they don't expect him to be up. And on this part of the map, he's going to be making his way around the wall run, spots a player. It's Formal, and Formal's going to win a big engagement. Unfortunately, though, time is running out here on the commissary, and you finally cross the 100-point mark. You're still down by 115.
And if there's one little positive takeaway you can have for OpTic Gaming on that hard point, is that multiple streaks are used for LG, really for only 5 seconds of the scrap time. So, still winnable for OpTic Gaming, but man, they are down by 2 minutes of time, and LG look to keep their foot on the gas.
Honestly, I think we just got to tell the Luminosity story here. They are 15 points away. 20 and 15 is Octane, 20 and 15 is Saints. Your slayers of the game. You got Slacked working towards his 20th kill, and Classic has been the man filling all of the gaps, pulling out an NV4 for this hard point. Here come the streaks, and there is the game. 250, 111. Luminosity outslaying OpTic Gaming in a big way here in OpTic's best game mode.
Wow, they just wiped the floor with OG. A statement game one from Luminosity. You know, I saw Slacked and Octane here before anybody else in the venue, any other players warming up earlier today. They said, we're ready to go, man. They were excited for this match. This is who they want to face, right?
Yes.
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and they did it right there in map one.
And I talked to a Scump on the other side of the stage from OpTic Gaming, and I asked him, you know, what do you think of this matchup going in against Luminosity? You got any quotes for me to share on broadcast? He said, honestly, dude, we're just looking at trying to play FaZe, and to do that, we're going to have to get through LG.
Yeah.
But we want that rematch against FaZe. So maybe they aren't as prepared as they needed to be coming into that first hard point. And when I looked at this best-of-5 series, I saw the game modes were definitely in favor of OpTic when you had the hard points. Luminosity, they struggled in group play. They lost to E United. They lost to Epsilon on that first map Breakout. But coming up next, they have a Search and Destroy, and Luminosity is perfect this weekend here in the playoffs. They have not dropped a Search, and OpTic, you know, we've seen their struggles on retaliation.
That's what I wanted to bring up, is Luminosity, typically, this would be the game mode where if you're OpTic Gaming, here's your chance to claw back into things. That is not the case at all right now with what we've seen from LG so far in the game mode. They look well polished. They know what works and what doesn't, and they're working on their strengths. OpTic Gaming on the other side, though, you look at this and you think a potential must-win map. You said when these two teams first matched up the last time back in Dallas, OpTic got smoked in Uplink Game 3.
And that's the same case, because Uplink Throwback is going to be Game 3. OpTic, their struggles in group stages, well, they got 7-2'd by Enigma 6 on Throwback. They never looked good on it. Even though they were outslaying, they weren't able to convert as easily as you see them on Precinct and Frost. So this could be a 3-0 unless OpTic turns up right here. Search and Destroy is going to be a big game. And as we mentioned, Luminosity's knock in the past, it's that their S&D was weak. They've seemed to have fixed it. They are perfect, and considering the teams they've played against, it's pretty damn impressive to see them taking out Envy, as well as FaZe Clan and E United last night.
And I think the big thing, too, to bring up is there might be a lot of new eyes on competitive Call of Duty today. 500 grand on the line. These two teams, as you mentioned earlier, you'd expect this to be maybe a winner's bracket final matchup. Instead, folks, to kick off our Championship Sunday, this is an elimination game. The loser of this best-of-5 series goes home. LG strike first, so they're feeling confident going into Game 2, S&D on retaliation.
I'm looking more at this best-of-5 series here as the game's loading up, and I'm starting to see how it could break down. If OpTic wins this Search and Destroy, I'm giving the edge to Luminosity for the uplink. Then we'll go to Hardpoint Scorch, and you know, this is the map that we saw LG play FaZe against in the first round. Meanwhile, OpTic was able to win, or excuse me, OpTic was able to beat FaZe on that map in match number 1 against FaZe. Luminosity, they haven't looked as good on Scorch. And then we have Throwback Search and Destroy, a Game 5, and I think that's a coin toss.
Yeah.
This one could go the distance, but I have to think OpTic has pressure coming into this Search. Uplink is not going to look good on Throwback for Game 3.
Oh, 100%. This might just be a must-win map for OpTic Gaming. What can they do now on retaliation, S&D? Sniper presence absolutely possible on this map. The big thing for me will come down to these plants. Can Karma get the plants he needs, earn that camo? We saw earlier this weekend a couple games where he's starting off 2-7, 2-8, but because he's able to get consistent plants for his team, he can still earn that payload. Here we go, folks. OpTic Gaming, LG, Game 2, Search and Destroy with LG up 1-0.
And normally in the past, we always showed you what was happening on the offensive end. This time around, we're going to show you the defensive setup here from Luminosity.
And it's big to point out because the spawns have now shifted. They've been moved forward, so teams on defense can take control of this lower street. That's exactly what LG do. Their game plan to kick off this game, Chris, hold down the B site and rotate to A when the time comes.
And Slack is going to be the player on the plat. OpTic sniffs it out, so they are all going to go with a 4-man rotation. It's going to be Crim6 watching the wall run over at the bridge. Meanwhile, the other 3 players setting up on the bomb site. Bombs going down from Karma. That's going to get him closer to the camo. Keep your eyes on that. And here comes Luminosity. They're going to meet the 4-stack with the 4-stack of their own.
And OpTic had planted for the side that they fall back to. So one thing we critiqued OpTic on yesterday was their slow retakes in 4v4s. Luminosity, the first gunfight, going to go down with about 30 seconds left. Karma's got to get out with his life. He's got some help. It's Formal with first blood.
And there's a nice trade from Classic, making sure that Slack doesn't die in vain. 3-on-3, 20 seconds left before this bomb blows up. And you are seeing the kills going back and forth. It's only Crim left alive here for OpTic going up against Classic and Octane. And Crim is going to fall off the map. That's a free defuse. Octane gets credit for the kill and the defuse. A big opening round for Octane as Classic also gets 2 kills towards his camo.
So what do we know about LG? When they 4-hit things together, it always seems to work. They don't send anybody out of flank there. They don't try anything crafty. There's no tacticals used. They just muscle through the likes of OpTic Gaming, trade efficiently even after getting first blooded, and secure that round win.
And we talked about United strength as a team was always their ability to trade kills and search and destroy. Luminosity beat them playing the exact same way. They're just showing that Classic, Slack, always in a position to trade out with each other. I love to see this team grouped up and open this round. Classic stays hot, 4 straight kills. He is more than halfway to his camo here in just round 2. And they're going to be making their way to that bomb site. Only 2 players from OpTic left with Scump and Crim6.
And you think here, Classic probably going to plant this, will earn not only the Scarab, but get closer and closer to that camo in just round 2. Down to a 1v3 is Scump. He knows Slack is back here. Slack just trying to buy some time to get some help from his teammates.
I think Slack bought enough time for that bomb to go down for Classic. Now, though, can Scump clutch a 1v3? Not going to happen. Tagged up from 2 directions. And Luminosity is cruising so far here in this series.
So OpTic Gaming there take patio control, but don't have anybody look towards scaffolding. So they just have 2 players get shot in the side. They're both watching the same bottom bar area. Slight miscommunication there that gets them first blooded.
Luminosity on point. A few chinks in OpTic's armor right now, but those are easily fixable. Small talk going to be key for them. They're back on the attack. They get to dictate where the action is going to be. And last time, they got the bomb down safely on this bridge. It looks like that's the direction, but Luminosity is going to send 2 here. Karma's going to blow up the car and take down Octane, but Classic trades out Formal, so still a 3-on-3.
And this is a must-win round for me for OpTic Gaming. Classic with a second beatdown kill. Saints shuts down Karma, and just like that, it's Crim all by himself again.
And Classic did get Trinity rockets as well, so keep your eyes on the score streaks as this goes on. Crim in a 1 versus 2, just like Scump last round. May be able to pick one, but this is going to be so tough. And Slack is able to pick up the final shots, 3 straight.
Classic just basically wins that round for his team. He hits the lower wall run on the outside bridge, gets a shot beat down into 1, gets a shot beat down into a second. He should have honestly gotten out of there with 0 kills. He should have been first blooded. OpTic should have gotten a free plant. Instead, it's little heroic plays like that that can swing momentum in his team's favor.
Luminosity has always been a threat, and when this team first came together, when you saw Octane, Classic, and Slack leave Rise Nation to join up with Saints on Luminosity, a lot of people are saying this is going to be one of the deadliest rosters in competitive Call of Duty. They are showing it here against the #1 team in the world. Saints looking for the angle underneath the van. Meanwhile, Classic again on this wall run. Do you call in streaks here, Jack?
I think what you wind up doing is you could just play for a play with the objective right now, especially just to earn that camo. Another thing to point out as well, even if he gets a kill with just a Trinity rocket, he'll earn that payload as well.
That's what I was thinking.
He is. So he's got a lot to work with, and look at the mind games being played. LG plays so passively that OpTic are now kind of over-rotating back, now with some grenades being shown. LG are giving themselves options to go towards either site.
Slack drawing a little bit of attention, didn't get any hit markers, so they're still clueless of where OpTic is positioned. And you can see the rotations. There's some timing. Octane, did he see Formal on the other side of that window?
As of now, you can't really tell quite yet. Classic, though, hopping towards the site, does get killed by Scump, so no camo as of yet.
Slacked wins another. Slacked is picking up 2. That is going to open things up here at the lower street. Formal's gunned by Octane again. 2 players shooting at Formal, simply outgunned. Karma in the 1v2. And Luminosity choosing to go for the bomb plant, split up. And Karma is able to make it a 1v1. Octane ignores the bomb and picks up the final kill. 4 straight unanswered rounds here for Luminosity.
Trades, trades, trades is everything. Octane is there right away to make sure he can clean up Slack's kill. This is the best LG have ever looked at as a team in Search and Destroy. There is no doubt in my mind.
Their collapsing has just been incredible.
Yeah.
They're so patient, and then all of a sudden, everyone's in your face, and you're getting bullets from all directions. Classic with the camo here on defense, still having those score streaks to work with as well.
And look at how far Karma still is on your scoreboard from his active camo, not even halfway there. The big thing we talk about with comebacks is how payloads can come into play. If LG can shut this game out before any payloads are in for OpTic Gaming, that's their absolute play right here.
And that is a big kill for Formal. Everyone from OpTic negative so far. Octane's going to gun Formal, so we're tied up here. As I say that, actually, you're going to see a second member of Luminosity drop. So it's only Octane left in the 1v3. We got Scump, Crim6, and Karma. On the bomb site, can Octane stay alive and pull off a miracle here?
Yeah, Octane, if I'm not mistaken.
Off the map.
Play, yeah, just jump off. Yes, he's close to a Scarab, or okay. Maybe dance around for a kill. Nope.
This is my new spot. I like to die over here.
And here's the third person from Aches backstage.
Thank you, Aches.
Just to make sure we had that extra bit of flair there.
In case you never saw the back of the Cathedral graveyard.
It's very spacious. But no, good round win for OpTic Gaming. One thing I do want to say, look at the difference that is made when Formal gets first blood. Many times as of late, those major CWL open event LAN wins that OpTic have had in Dallas and Paris, Formal was dropping a 1.2 plus S&D KD. So far this weekend was coming into this match with a 0.92, uncharacteristic gameplay from him up to this point.
Well, we talked about the numbers. It's between 70 and 77% of first blood wins the round back throughout group stages. It seems to be true throughout this game, as most of them have been going Luminosity's way. The bomb down instantly. Who is going to get the first pick? It's going to be Formal looking for the angle, as well as Crim6. Meanwhile, Octane just waiting for the challenger. He knows it's eventually going to come in. Now the score streak's coming down here, and the Trinity Rocket is going to land. Classic blows up too, and that is the round. 5-1.
Why would you go anywhere? Anywhere on the map, except for Bridge, if you're LG. You've got streaks, you've got camo. Such a smart play. Beautiful job by Classic to get 3 with that streak, as LG are now 1 round away from being up 2-0 against OpTic Gaming here on Championship Sunday.
And you see the frustration on OpTic's face. Crim6 trying to get comfortable. They're trying to find their groove. They had no answer for the kills that were coming from LG and the Hardpoint, and they simply have been outstratted here in Search. Luminosity got off to a hot start, and it's this man, Classic, who has been their star. The camo going down. He's spotted immediately, though. Shots into him as Karma takes out Saints. And what a play from Formal. Spots him and guns him down, Jack.
Huge, huge play from Formal. 4 versus 2. The camo has been burned.
Streaks are gone. Now it's basically an even game. And Formal's got himself an FTL jump. We've seen how dangerous he can be with this. 2 players left. It's going to be Slacked with the payload. Octane also in this round still.
Jump off the map.
And Crim6 is going to take down Octane, so it's only Slacked and FTL jump, and he's going to be gone.
This is one of those moments that I talked about in that first Hardpoint. When we saw 2 members of LG get fully streaked out, we said, guys, look at the score now. It was a 40-second game and ended 140-second difference. There, with the payload being burned, with camo now being gone, typically a payload that can almost get your team a free round win, no longer available, can make all the difference as this game goes on.
Talking with Slacked, he said last time we were up in game 2, 5-2, and somehow OpTic came back and stole the game away. Can they do it again in back-to-back matchups? OpTic down low at the lower street's gonna find all 4, and it's Karma taking out Slack from the sky. Crim6 finds Classic. It's gonna be 4-on-2 here for OpTic Gaming.
4-on-2. Now they just need to make sure they keep numbers in their favor, especially in these engagements.
Karma about an assist away from earning his camo as well.
And what did I mention? Even in games where he's not getting a ton of kills, look at the plants. They're down 5-2, but still 3 plants already is what makes it possible for him to be that close to the active camo.
Shots into Octane, but Octane surviving around that wall. Saints trying to back him up. And it's actually going to be Saints down low as Octane's on the high bridge. Crim6 finds Saints. Down goes Octane. That's back-to-back rounds now for OpTic.
They know everyone's off their streaks. They know there's no camo, and not only is there no camo, he's not even close. I mean, he hasn't gotten a point yet to earn a second. All right, so the stage is set for OpTic Gaming. It's pretty simple. Now you just need to win these rounds, keep getting these first bloods. There's not that many tools to work with if you're LG, and this is where you start to get nervous.
And Ake said from the back, he thinks it was on the same map, actually, that Luminosity blew the lead. Will history repeat itself, or will Luminosity get revenge? They only need 1 round. All you need is really a first blood here on defense.
And again, this is one of those rounds where it's kind of a ticking time bomb. Look at your mini-map right now. You've got Octane and Classic looking for the potential hero play. OpTic Gaming in a spot where they cannot get pinched at this lower street side. Oh, I think they've got to push on through or get a quick plan here.
Player outside that doorway.
Oh, no.
LG's not going to challenge, and Classic has slipped behind 2, make it 3 players. There's someone directly behind him, and Classic doesn't finish the kill. Crim6 is going to pick it up, but Octane is there to trade, so this is still manageable for LG. 3-on-3, Karma down to no health. He picks Saints. Octane is going to find Formal, but Scump is there to support. Slacked in a 1v2, only an FTL to work with.
And only 20 seconds left as well. Time one of his enemies as well in this round. OpTic, they have vision on that objective.
Uppy.
Round win for OpTic, and Karma, he's thanking the COD gods for that back plate right now. That rear guard saving him in that round.
Wow.
And that's one of
Classic
those
could have picked up 2 there, Jack.
It's one of those spots where, 2 players get on your screen. He saw one with rear guard. Yes, he's the guy with camo, a little bit tougher to kill, doesn't shoot the second. That's just a tough play, and in the biggest of moments, you've got to at least get 1.
It was 5-1. Now it's 4-5. OpTic trying to force this into a round 11, but it's Luminosity on the attack. And look how passive OpTic is playing. Dropping all the way back to the market is Scump. Back in the Cathedral Graveyard, we have Formal. They are waiting for the bomb, then they'll try and react.
They've given up a lot of map positioning. They're going to open with a Scarab for some information. Either way, bottom right of your screen, camo has been earned. Look where Slack is. How does Slack get here?
Slack gets behind Scump and gets out with his life, at least for now. 1-on-1. No one to help Karma, and he wins the beatdown battle at close range.
OpTic will have their camo player still alive. He's going to pop it right away.
Oh, it's burning
they
so
soar
fast.
On through. It doesn't actually do anything for him. Thankfully, Karma, though, now with a streak. 2 versus 3. LG trying to come back in this round.
1 versus 2. 2-on-1.
Saints all by himself with 30 seconds remaining.
Can Saints clutch up here? Bomb is down. Saints gonna get tagged though from the back. There is glue on the door, and Crim6 is gonna force a round 11. 4 plants for Karma. He set it all up. Even though he doesn't get the kill with the camo, winning that first melee battle gives him the chance. He gets the second pick, and then it's up to his teammates to close out the round.
Karma now just needs to stay alive. Simple as that. He's got a streak to use. It is a priority to drop this in for whether it's information. Wouldn't be surprised to see LG play heavy into either bike shop or in towards that top hotel area. This could be a very quick round if they go for a 4-hit through that choke point. Let's see it, folks. Round 11. It all comes down to this.
Here is the conclusion of game number 2 in the best of 5. This is a battle for top 3 here in the stage 1 playoffs. Luminosity dominating the hard point, but here come the score streaks. Karma from the sky drops it on Classic. Now Slacked is out of the action. Karma opens things up with 2 kills with the score streaks. Octane and Saints in a terrible position here.
And because they give Scump the bomb, they're able to go get that plant down. Octane in the 1 versus 4. Oh my goodness, what am I about to see? OpTic from down 5-1 win the round 11. And we've got ourselves a choke to kick off this day.
And this has got to be burning in the back of Luminosity's mind. It happened back at Dallas. You blow a 5-2 lead on retaliation there. Now a 5-1 lead. And OpTic has all kinds of confidence now going in to Uplink Throwback that before this game, I said without a doubt would be in LG's favor.
Folks, when you are watching competitive Call of Duty, you think of moments that swing games. The first hard point was when 2 players on LG got fully streaked out.
Right.
The game 2 was when Formal spots the camo player on the wall run, correctly backs off, wins the engagement. Once that happens, there's no tool to basically win a free round for LG. Folks, we're going into game 3 tied 1-1.
It's all tied up. What a start to Championship Sunday. Don't go anywhere. When we return, we got Uplink on Throwback. Here comes the swing game, and this is your G Fuel key player matchup. On the left, we got Karma from OpTic Gaming, and on the right, it's the man with the drone in hand, Classic from Luminosity.
It's only right we focus on the 2 active camo players and arguably the most important game mode. With that payload, it can make all the difference when scoring those game-winning points for your team. And while Karma might not do it in the killing department, he's leading in total points between these 2 players by just about 3. And OpTic Gaming do have the edge in uplink win rate. This is your G Fuel key player matchup for the series between OpTic Gaming and LG.
Oh, the one pieces.
It's like a onesie you wear out.
Oh, those are in, for sure.
In. I'm all for him, man. It's like an adult onesie. It's way more comfortable.
No comment.
I think Silly could pull off the male romper, so in for him, out for everyone else.
Coincidentally, I just bought a male romper the other day, which I will be wearing at Anaheim, so hope everybody's excited for it.
It doesn't look right.
Everybody in MOG needs to get those.
I think it takes a certain type of person to wear a romper. I'm not that type of person.
I could pull one off.
Out.
I don't know really why male rompers are created or a thing currently, but I'm not gonna wear one.
If I catch you wearing a romper, you're getting roasted on spot. Like, there's no hesitation.
I kind of want one. You got one?
If I win this tournament this weekend, I'll probably buy one and wear it. I don't know, I just like being weird. because my hair was pink once.
And welcome back. There is a look at Luminosity, who just blew a massive lead in game number 2, allowing OpTic to win 5 straight rounds and tie up the series at 1 apiece.
Talk about a momentum swing. I mean, LG nearly 100-point club OpTic, and you see a side of the stage where OG were all frowns. Then after game 2, they're up out of their seats. Scump's doing his famous joke that he always yells whenever someone drops that lead against him. That's a throwback to Dallas when they made the comeback happen. That reminds me of Atlanta, where OpTic Gaming got the comeback on Panda. There's been a few of those moments so far this year. It always seems like OG know how to clutch up.
Now, the difference maker here, though, is that Luminosity in this matchup isn't going down 2-0 to start. They won the hard point, and they did it by a large margin. So now we're entering Uplink. It's all tied up, and you saw OpTic. They have a better record throughout Stage 1, 66% win rate on this map. Or on this game type, rather, but on this map in particular, Throwback, that's where we've seen them struggle. In the group stages, they lost not only to Enigma 6, but also to a team Elevate that came in unpracticed. Yeah. So if there is a weakness in OpTic's map pool, it's probably this Uplink Throwback.
And a lot of it came down to OpTic Gaming not watching their flank, not watching their pinch. They got shot in the back a lot, especially near that underpass area. Definitely something to watch out for as this game develops. This is also a map where these teams are very practiced not only against each other, but when they play 8s. Formal and Octane know where to expect each other almost at all times. I was talking to Octane a little bit about it last night. He says, you know, Formal stopped challenging me off the break on this map. We'll see if that plays true here, as we are ready for game 3, Throwback Uplink, with somehow the series tied 1-1.
And you kind of talked about how Enigma 6 was able to beat OpTic. It was constantly the last man standing, shooting the drone carrier, right? Slowing it down or making a big defensive stand. When you're going up against Luminosity, I normally see this team playing much more aggressive. There is a slow player, it's going to be Octane, and we've seen how strong he and Formal can be as that last AR defending the satellite uplink. But I think this is going to be an all-out brawl, just like our first hard point. Is Luminosity going to just wipe away what happened in that game 2 and come out swinging, or is it OpTic Gaming with all the momentum? We are going to try and get some listen-ins for game number 4. We got to give the players a heads up for this one. It's all Jack and I. We're going to be starting things off with Karma on your screen, the Rockstar in Search and Destroy.
Again, Karma with the NV4, a weapon that he was shredding with on this exact map yesterday, but now dead off the break. It's 4 quickly down for OpTic Gaming, and already the drone in the hands of Slack.
And that drone is going to be surging forward with plenty of lead blockers. All 3 members of Luminosity were up in front of Slack, and Slack is going to put it through for a 1-point play. So you get your opening kills, you're able to put in a 1-point play, and then Octane kills 3 more members of OpTic Gaming. As the last man up for LG, he is still causing problems inside their base.
And look what that does. LG are able to surge up middle map, gain some positioning, and OpTic have to worry about clearing again their base before they can focus on the drone at all. This is the exact spot LG want to find themselves in within the first minute of this game.
And Classic dipped out of that window at the perfect time, turns, finds Scump at his crosshairs. Now a player spotted in the window. Classic is playing so fast with this ERAD, and he is doing damage. 2 straight kills. He makes all the callouts. His teammates know where the pressure is going, and Classic, making sure nobody gets flanked, is doing an excellent job with this SMG.
He is just a bullet sponge right now. How has he not died yet? He's got one shot 4 times in a row, and it's now on a 4th streak because of it.
Hold that.
Either way,
thanks, buddy.
Pass back and forth. Thank you, Karma, for helping out Slack there, as LG again back on the offensive, and it's all because Octane, this lead blocker, is triple positive.
And that was a big kill from Scump on Slack. Stops the drone just as it was about to be released. So this is not a 2-0 game. OpTic holds it strong. It's Formal with a 2-piece crim. Will put an end to Octane's run, and they will clear the drone. Surging this one up the left side. It's going to be Crim 6 looking to take control of the objective. Right behind him is Formal as an escort.
Formal, one of the best escorts you could ever ask for, especially in a respawn game mode. Seeing what he can do with the MV4 in his hands. Unfortunately, the last-ditch effort for the drone doesn't work out. It's now we're through 2 minutes of gameplay. So far, this map has been majority LG, and again, Chris, it comes down to the slang. 3 members positive right now.
And I like Classic's decision there. Even though he lost the gunfight on the bridge, he didn't just pick up the drone and run it forward. Instead, he knew he had to pick up the kills. The pressure was going to be coming, and now they wrap the drone the opposite way. Karma with a big stop there, and Scump comes through to put an end to Slack. So no tosses. That is the 3rd straight toss attempt that is stopped.
Oh, that's a huge beatdown. Karma, if he gets killed right there, there's no one to stop a dunk from going on through. Classic could have made a nice individual play, but the swift reactions of Karma was just enough to make the play happen.
Saints stopping half of OpTic's rush. Karma's gunned down as well. So 3 down They're coming off the respawn together, and this is a battle in the yard. We got the drone down. I expect this to reset any moment, as no one should be going for the objective until the kills are scored. Crim6 opening it up with Classic. Now you got Saints trading back, and Octane is going to land the shots. Last one up is Scump, and he is just surrounded by those blue arrows. Gun down. Luminosity has middle map control. They're back on the attack, Jack.
Yeah, and Octane is set up where he wants to be. How many times in the respawn so far have we seen him be in his advantageous positions? He can just pre-aim all these choke points and get kill after kill after kill. Nearly starts this game 15-6. Finally does drop, but already the damage is done.
And Classic, he has Slack to work with. As I say it, Slack is gunned down by Scump. Drone is just going to sit in the window as the defense holds. Once again, another double kill. This time, it's coming from Scump. The drone being pushed up by OpTic, but they don't have the kills yet. Crim6 is on the flank, tried to be the opener they needed. Instead, it's Luminosity aware of the presence. Can they get Scump out of the base? No! Scump is going to pick up 2, and Formal's got the drone right behind him. As Scump falls, the ball is released, and it goes through. We're tied up with a minute to go in the first half.
While it wasn't pretty, OpTic are able to at least get a point on the board, and it all starts with a 2-piece from Scump. The man currently leading his team at 12-11. Formal, again, a quiet game from him. You think of what we saw in the Hardpoint double negative, now double negative yet again. When does the Formal we typically see on Championship Sunday begin to show up?
Octane melting, 3 straight kills. That drone will go through for the dunk from Slack. The 2-point play gives them a nice lead going into the half, but it's not done yet. Is Classic going to be able to get another rally, or will Karma be able to punish? Here's the drone, but there's a player in front of him. Slack stops the momentum. 20 seconds left, Jack. Does OpTic score here?
I don't believe so. They've got everyone set up, the drone in an awkward position. And yeah, everyone on LG now alive. So either way, we're going to go into the half with an LG lead. They might be able to tack on one final point if they do spot this last player. They will do just that. Slack going to try to push on forward. Oh, no! Gets the beat down too.
There's 2 defenders left. 3 seconds. He's got to throw it. And that is going to be just too low. A little panic toss there. Instead of a 2-possession game, it is just 1 dunk that separates these 2 teams going into the second side.
Again, middle map control so well dominated by LG on that first half. Even after they die in the OpTic gaming base, they make sure to take a couple with them. OpTic never able to get the full setup they want in middle. You saw the only 1-point play they had is a last-ditch effort throw by Formal. They were not close to getting a dunk on the board on that first side.
And you know, Formal with an interception at the end there too. You saw it in the slow motion kill cam. He was in the background. Even if that ball was going up, he was ready to snatch it out of the sky. And he's going to win the opening NV4 fight versus Octane. Scump and Karma get their kills as well. So now this drone is surging forward, and we've seen this from OpTic. You saw it just an event ago, how quickly they can tally points on the board attacking from this side.
Yeah, and they try to move forward this drone. Unfortunately, no one there to grab it as of yet, but at least putting the pressure onto the side of LG. Some payloads now beginning to get earned. Octane will be the first one in the lobby. As OpTic still down by 1 possession, but they're finally getting some kills in LG's base. But as I say that, Slack wipes Karma and Scump off the map.
And look how good Slack looks here on your screen right now. He is just beaming people. But to put this into perspective, Octane had double his kills a moment ago.
Yeah.
Octane is just playing on another level. And when you get Slack and Classic fired up, this is such a dangerous team. Saints, by the way, having the best tournament I have seen from him in a long time. 18-13. The drone, though, cut short as the overdrive will not lead to a dunk. Karma coming up big with another 2-piece in the base.
Yeah, that's a huge play to stop Octane. Again, one thing we do have to touch on. Up to this point this weekend, the team outslaying typically wins the game to a point where it's 26-1 map count where the slaying team takes it. Right now, Luminosity outslaying by just about 13 kills. Again, OpTic Gaming putting themselves in rough situations by not winning their gunfight.
13 kills against OpTic Gaming is a massive margin, and there's another toss. This time it's Crim6 sinking it 3-2. Luminosity still with the lead, but a dunk will take the advantage here for OpTic Gaming. Slacked.
Again, these are the moments where LG have been winning this entire map. The kills in middle. Finally, OpTic do get some sort of advantage, but they've now got to capitalize on this. Kill these final 2 players and push up into the LG base. Slack is buying so much time for his teammates to come off respawn.
Slack is doing work.
Wow,
again. How many streaks is he going to put up here on the second side? Now positive on a 3 streak. He's
only got 2 bullets. He's
1 kill away from getting that Scarab. As you mentioned, no bullets, nothing but fist, and Formal's going to gun him down in the middle of the map.
Classic trying to stay alive. OpTic Gaming now on the offensive. They've got 3 players pushing forward, but who is it? Saints and Classic to at least slow the push. All 4 dead yet again.
And Karma is outpacing Classic right now, so if it comes down to a battle of the camo, Karma's going to have it first. We still have 2:30 to go, and Classic is about 75% of the way there. So keep your eyes on these 2 players. They were our G Fuel key players in the matchup, and they could definitely be the stars in game number 3. 2:18 left on the clock. Slack trying to make a 1-point play happen. Good cover fire from Saints. The Jammer going to slow him down, and that toss is not going to get off. Once again, it's Karma and Scump on the defensive end, stopping the drone short.
You are OpTic Gaming now. You have 2 minutes remaining. You need to focus on kills in middle map. Both being traded back and forth. As of now, you've got FTL jump earned, Crim6, little engagements like that can make all the difference as this game goes on.
And Formal is going to be leading the charge as Crim6 falls. 3 opponents around this corner, and Octane wins this gunfight. Octane with the K-bar wants to up the tempo. They want to play more aggressive here in the second half. Slacked and Classic also in the kill feed. That's 3 down for OpTic.
So right there, we just watched Formal try to push towards Sidewalk when he had no help from his teammates yet. Octane, from everything we've seen from him so far this map, he would just be pre-aiming from top train, looking for long-range gunfights, waiting for his team to come off spawn. Formal dies for nothing. There's no trade there, and LG capitalized on it.
A little bit of panic being shown here from OpTic, and Classic showing such great patience. That drone, though, is reset. A big play from OpTic. They felt the pressure. They're going to clear the objective, and it's actually just sitting under the bike path, but it's going to be difficult for LG to get there. They're all swarming through the center and are focused on kills first.
1 minute remaining. OpTic so close to camo. Crim does have his payload, though, and Formal with 1 to use as well. 25 and 23 is Scump. Only 1 is picked up there, even though 2 were 1 shot. 45 seconds left. Can OpTic Gaming finally take the lead?
45 seconds. That's all Luminosity has to hold for. They've been controlling this middle of the map, and at this point, you have to question, do you even go for a score, or do you just look at the gunfights? It looks like Classic's going to bring this back to his base, throws it in the corner, and as long as they keep killing, it's going to be so difficult. And look at this. This is actually a manual pass from Classic to Slacked, now to Saints, who's on the back end. The reactive is used, and Saints gets the kill on Crim6. 20 seconds left, and OpTic has 1 more attempt coming off this respawn.
There's no time. What a play by Saints. Crim having to just pop that payload right off spawn to try to get back towards middle map. It's not going to happen. LG narrowly take the uplink to go up 2-1 on our best of 5.
We said throwback uplink might be a problem. Did not expect it to be this close, though. Luminosity with their first half plays really setting the tone. The dunk from Slack was the difference maker. And honestly, for me, the MVP has to be Octane. He started off with the best KD in the lobby. He cleared the way. Even after their first point toss, he was still in the base, picking up kill after kill on OpTic. They were always playing from the back foot with this man in the game.
It's never been a question of talent with this Luminosity lineup. When they were formed, everyone was excited to see this team get back into our top 2, top 3 on the main stage, appear in finals. If they keep playing like this right now, they absolutely can today. But what we saw on that map, everyone getting involved. There was moments where Classic stepped up, where Slack stepped up. Octane was doing well the whole time, and even there at the end, Saints, beautiful reactive armor, single-handedly stops the OpTic Gaming push, killing 3 of them by himself. Everyone making individual plays, and it's why LG find themselves in the lead in this series.
And I love that decision. Classic kind of set it all up. He goes, grabs the drone, brings it back, tosses to Slack. Slack says there's too much pressure here. I'm going to throw it over to Saints. And with the drone down at bike path, OpTic's going to have to come all the way off spawn to the opposite side of the map. Luminosity played that perfectly in the final minute. Now they're on match point. Can they send OpTic Gaming packing here in stage number 1? The 4th game in this best of 5 is Hardpoint on Scorch.
Oh my goodness. Fast pace, high intensity gameplay. Obviously we know this is a map where you've got some money hills, especially at Turbine and Hangar. Drill is just a toss up for me. Comes down to which team can show up and which team can get the gunfight wins off the respawns towards the new hills, right? Holding those back Turbine spawns, locking down back rocks for Hangar. Both these teams so good at it. You know which players are going to be there. I'm ready for this game to get started.
And statistically speaking, OpTic Gaming definitely has the edge here. They're 4-0 in Scorch, I believe, throughout stage 1. They were 3-0 throughout group stages, and they beat FaZe in their first round matchup in this game type. On the other side, Luminosity, this is the map they dropped to Envious, and Slack had an off game. He was about -10 in that one. So the player to watch for me in this game is going to be Slack. the veteran on this lineup. Is he going to be able to perform at the same level he has throughout this whole series?
And I have to pick a player from OpTic Gaming. It's got to be Crimsix. I mentioned coming into this series, he averaged the most hardpoint time per game at 112 seconds was his average so far this weekend.
He's soaking up that hill time.
Exactly, but in game 1, I think he got 5 seconds total. By the end of it, extremely uncharacteristic from him, showed how badly OpTic Gaming were being forced out of the hardpoint. They can never be comfortable. They've got to have a different story this time around in game 4, or else their tournament hopes are done.
Crimsix and Karma, when you've seen OpTic succeed in hardpoint, these are the two players going opposite directions on the minimap, pushing out those spawns, constantly getting the cut kills. Crimsix also showing that he can defend himself once inside the hardpoint. But for me, it's Formal. Do you remember that breakout? Formal was the guy off to a slow start. He did not get it going. You let the 2 streaks come into play from Luminosity in your first 2 minutes. If Formal comes off hot here on Scorch, then you're going to be able to shut down Luminosity. You're going to be able to keep pace in the killing game. And this one could finish it all, though, for LG. Will they be able to close it out? Or is OpTic going to force another game 5? It would be search and destroy on Throwback. First, we're headed to Scorch, Jack, and it's time to get this party started. Who do you want to watch?
Oh gosh, off the break, I gotta see Formal. You mentioned so far an uncharacteristic start to this championship Sunday from him. If you ask Maven, he's the best player to ever grace console. I'm sure he would say that to this point, especially when it comes down to championship Sunday from some of the numbers we've seen from him in these years past.
We'll keep our eyes on Formal, but I heard that we need to watch Scump. Why? He's pulling out the NV4. What's the game plan here? Send Scump to the far left. Everyone else is going to hit from the right as they try and pinch on this middle hardpoint.
Nice grenade to pick Saints out of that cover in middle map, as both teams will now fight for positioning. Now we know the team that spawns from this back rocks area can flood this hard point first. It's going to be up to OpTic Gaming to get this break, and it all starts again with Scump's 3-0 start.
I mean, this was a great call by Eggs to go to Scump, showing the NV4. Normally, you were expecting Scump to just fly into the hill with the K-bar in hand, maybe an E-Rad. This time, they go for a very slow push to the center of the map, knowing that Luminosity has kind of the favored initial spawn. So many times we've seen the teams that are spawning on Luminosity's side just get in and get early control, jump out to about a 25, 30-point lead. Instead, OpTic baits them in and gets the kills. Formal with the 2-piece is going to lock this one home. 12 points to go.
And already, Formal, this is what you wanted to see. 4-1 on a 3 streak. OpTic are also set up fully for Turbine. Even if you do have Formal die here, will he get the back spawn? This should actually be interesting to see. No, they didn't.
And they're across the map. I want to hear how they handle this, Jack. Let's go into the communication with OpTic Gaming.
All right, I'm coming from back door. He got me. Fall out, Seth. He slid out.
Bottom. Back door, bottom. Back door, bottom. Back door. He's back door. He pushed it.
Pushing. Yeah, slot here. I'm coming map side. I'm mating top. I'm looking side door. Coming side door right now, Ian. I'm coming through mid. I'm coming through mid. We got Ian. Elbow. Yeah, I'm getting elbow. Jump down. Saints is top, going back to hill. He's still premium top door. He's still premium top door. He's getting E-Red. Saints is still back up to hill. All good. Nick's high. Jumping up in the back left. We get this one more time. I'm gonna go blue. I'm switching at red. I'm gonna switch to red. Nice. Stay alive. Someone might want to rotate. I'm rotating. Where's he going?
He's gonna go hall probably.
Hall? Okay.
Yeah, he's pushing hall.
In blue. Nick is weak. He's going out blue window.
You're already?
I don't see anything hall. He could be middle. Could be box or low. Slide middle. One left. He's playing spot. He's gonna play spot. I'm gonna help David. Back up. I'm getting Tim, play left. Back left. Here, under the pit. Another one. High right, and one's low left. Jump up pit on you, Matt. He jumped up. Seth, pick up hill.
Okay, I'm going.
Nice shit, Matt. I spawned in the back. I got your bottom. Let's go. I can get time. Yeah. Could be hall. Yeah, they're gonna hit. They might hit hall. Two maps. Watch out. Three playing spawn. I'm in the very back. Saints might be middle. I'm in the very back. Jump tight. One point middle. One more in the back. I'm challenging. Yeah, he did. Watch out for Saints. I'm weak. Challenging me. One's back door. Back door. Very back. Not his main door. I'm watching him. I spawned hall. Come to you guys. I got Warren. All one's the wall. He's going hall. It's going hall. Yeah, hall. Main door. Hold me, Nick. I need help. No. Watch out. Two. Good hold right there. We're good. That was good. That's good.
There were like 3 there.
Yeah. Get this one more time, maybe. Yeah. Middle. Just get mid. Control the game.
Jack, OpTic set up so well. They're able to get the first 40 points there, tie the score. In fact, take the lead for a moment, and then it's 4 straight kills from Luminosity. How did they do that comeback? How did they retake?
Well, they finally set up as 4 towards the back rock side. They flooded in together. It always seems to be the theme with LG. When they're 4 guns up, they push together as a team. They can basically beat anyone that they have to face off against, even OpTic Gaming. But now OpTic, they're early rotated over to Drill. But again, look in the kill feed. 3 kills for LG.
OpTic getting picked apart here one by one. You see the flank now from Saint behind Formal, but Formal bouncing off the walls, gives him the business. It doesn't matter though, because Luminosity is in the hill. 3 members of OpTic surging forward. That hip fire not fast enough. Octane though is pure with the NV4. He knows there's a player inside the hill contesting. Formal providing enough cover fire, though, to buy some time. It's a 30-point advantage now for Luminosity, as they should be the first to hit 100 points, and Classic is going in.
Octane is the great equalizer for LG, man. The whole time his team is dying around him, he somehow lives on a 4 streak, stays in the hard point, and now he's 25 points from a bombardment. Again, Octane showing up big time in the respawns.
From the hangar retake now to drill, Octane and Classic are catching fire, and let's go to the communication here from Octane, who is on a 6 streak.
Low wall. I'm using a scare from hill. I'm using a scare from hill. Someone hold my pitch. I'm scaring front left. One's front left laying down south. South BS&D. BS&D wrap. BS&D's Lego. He's Lego.
Bottom hanger. Could be bottom hanger.
Someone on my cave or no?
Yeah. Oh, cave came out.
Cave.
OB. 2 OB.
Nice. One shot. South Lego heading. South Lego heading. Hold on, no. Slow down.
That's one shot, cave. He's low wall. I'm streaking on spawn.
Could be top hanger, maybe.
I have bottom hanger.
We'll push bottom hanger for sure.
I have bottom. Nothing bottom. Hold top.
2 on hill, 2 bottom left. Hanger, blue bottom left. Blue bottom left, last 2. I'm
getting top.
I'm hitting wall.
I got him out of blue.
I need a bottom lab.
I'm pushing.
Bottom left, Grim. Absolute. One's top left.
There's 2 there. 2 left.
Top left, formal. I still have a bombardment.
One more top left. One's
top
bottom.
left.
I spawn close blue. One's gonna spawn out.
Bottom. Crim hurt bottom. Hurt bottom and one's top. I'm just gonna go bottom with Nada.
Top left.
Damage on hold. Pushing through.
Bottom weak.
Dame's gonna connect Orny.
Alright, that's fine. Go left. I have streaks.
I'm looking connector.
Nado, stay alive.
Hold blue.
One top left still.
Top left.
One more bottom left.
You just saw Saints shutting down Formal's FTL jump. The kills are traded, though, and it's OpTic in charge of the turbine. The score streaks are going to force him out of the hill for a moment as Octane picks up Scump. Octane, though, he has been the factor in this game. The reason that Luminosity is up by 46 points. They're contesting inside, and Octane is going to find another perfect kill on Crim 6. 3 down for OpTic. Last one close is going to be Scump, and he needs to wait for reinforcements. Close spawn, though, for OpTic. This could be a push in the final 20 seconds.
This was their hill for their opportunity to come back in this game, but instead Octane had other plans. The guy's now 21-8. He's leading his team in the game in kills, least amount of deaths, most subjective time. He's doing it all right now.
And you saw the 7 streak from Octane. That earned him the Trinity Rockets, the bombardment. He uses the Trinity Rockets, picks up 2 kills. The bombardment clears everyone out of the hard point. He picks up the kill on Scump, and then his teammates flood through for the retake. This is now a hangar retake, a turbine retake, a drill retake, and can they do it here in the hangar again? It looks like it will, unless Formal shows up big. Another triple kill from Formal, and Scump will be able to lock this down. He's currently working with Karma, but 2 players in the back line.
There was nobody in the back rocks area for OpTic, so LG get the close spawn. They're able to flood the hill again. OpTic now spawn all the way out. They're already down by a minute. This has all signs of an LG hardpoint win if they can keep this pressure on.
And I think Benson's over at the desk saying this one is over now after that last push failed. You saw Luminosity set up, get the better spawns, and now they are going to be over 200 points as we head into our next hardpoint. They could lock it up in this next minute, Jack.
This is why LG was formed. It was to never drop respawns. They dropped 3 against FaZe last night. They look like an entirely different team today as they're on the verge of taking 2 hardpoints and an uplink against OpTic Gaming.
Saints with another nice headshot there on Karma is threatening on the flank. OpTic's aware of them, and they will pick up the kill. 3 members of Luminosity, though, are about to surge forward. Are the reinforcements going to be in position? It looks like it. Octane, last one up. He's just going to trade out kills here, but so far that is right 20 unanswered points from OpTic.
Right there, that is what Octane has been so good at. How does he even get 2 kills when he's all by himself, still staying alive? Finally, he's dead. It only takes 4 grenades and 3 different people.
Classic waiting for the push is going to find Formal. Slack cleans up the kill on Crim. And here we go, 15 more points for Luminosity to gain. The Scarab zoning out these OpTic members. They're pushed back, they're injured, they can't go until that health is back, and everyone is in position to stop it. Down goes one. Octane over the shoulder of Classic, picking up the kills. There's a second. and that is going to be the new hill on the bridge. This could all come to an end. Will OpTic Gaming be exiting stage 1 right here?
Oh, it looks like it. They've got camo about to be earned. Octane still double positive. They haven't had an answer for him yet. 236 to 149. One final push from OpTic Gaming is all they have.
All year long, OpTic has beat up on FaZe and Luminosity. This weekend, both teams getting their revenge. It's Luminosity 250-149. Over a 100-point difference in both of the hard points. They send OpTic Gaming packing.
Not even close in Hardpoint, man. Not even close. That man on your screen, Octane. When you talk about MVPs so far for stage 1 and this weekend, he's making a hell of a case for himself.
OpTic coming into this weekend as the #1 team in the world. They looked unstoppable. But it's Luminosity getting the best of them here on Championship Sunday. OpTic will walk home with $40,000. LG, they're guaranteed their highest placing here in Infinite Warfare with top 3. They're guaranteed $80,000. And if they keep playing the way they did against E-United last night, and now OpTic this morning, this could be the team holding the trophy at the end of the weekend.
And now, you know, if you're LG, you're looking at that winner's bracket final matchup, FaZe versus Splice, about to be next here on the main stage. They want FaZe, I think, to drop on down, get their chance at vengeance from what we saw was that victory late last night that sent LG down to the loser's bracket.
What an incredible series. And we had one man going off from start to finish. He's on our stage right now. Let's send it over to Mr. X with Octane.
Thank you, Puckett. Dude, your hardpoint game was sick. You were just shooting lights out. Coming into this matchup, obviously going up against OpTic and, you know, Formal, another good assault rifle player, how much pressure did you feel on yourself? You know, did you change anything up coming into the match?
I love playing against Matt. You know, it's always a good time. And, you know, yesterday we were firing all cylinders, man. That United match, I think that was the high caliber of our team. And, you know, we brought out, played exactly the same against OpTic, so.
And then I know game 2, you guys go up 5-1, and you guys blow that second match. I know we've seen before where you guys have lost games like that and not been able to come back just mentally. No, in that little break between games 2 and 3, what'd you guys talk about?
I literally said as soon as I died in Grave, I was like, dude, just laugh that off. That was just a series of unfortunate events. First map, we played really well. We steamrolled them on Breakout. So we know our respawn was good. Our SD was good for 6 rounds. And then after that, it kind of fell apart. But, you know, we just relied on our Uplink and our Hardpoint. We actually played them on those maps at Dallas, and we won them as well, so.
And then how good does it feel for you guys as a team? Because you guys, we've talked a lot about this year. You guys haven't gotten to your potential yet. We've seen, you know, search and destroy be an issue. You guys seem to be clicking now. How good does that feel for you guys to get everything clicking on all cylinders?
It's rewarding, man. You know, we've been frustrated all year because everybody said it. We've said it. It's like, you know, this team could be so good, right, if this works, if their S&D is good. You know, here we're performing. We've lost one S&D to a 5-1 comeback, which is, like, just unfortunate at that point. But, you know, I'm happy how we're playing, man. We're playing lights out.
And then the next match coming up, it's going to be Splice against FaZe. You guys have any thoughts on either of those teams? Which one would you rather see next, or thoughts on that matchup?
I want a FaZe rematch, man. I don't think that we played to our full potential against them yesterday. We kind of threw that match away, and I want that rematch.
Well, LG is firing on all cylinders, looking really scary here on Championship Sunday. Let's go back to Ben and the desk.
Thank you very much, Matt. Congratulations to Luminosity and, of course, Octane. What a performance that was from him, from start to end. A truly MVP-like performance from him. But we'll break down that series now. Starting off, of course, with map number 1. It was a Hardpoint Breakout, 250 to 111. And X, I have some interesting numbers here, and I want to get your opinion, okay? Formal starts off 1-6, Octane 5-2. Luminosity have an 81 to 12-point lead. Scump starts heating up. He goes 10-4. Saints at 1-7 at that point, and all of a sudden, a bit of a comeback starts, 81 to 72. From your point in the back there, Saints all of a sudden heats up. He goes on a big 8 streak. Was that the turning point?
Honestly, no. I feel like, for me personally, this OpTic team gets away with bullying every single team they play with the fact that they can outslay everybody. But coming against Luminosity, you cannot have that playstyle. You can't have that mentality that you're just going to outslay. It won't work. These guys are too good. The whole story of that was just LG was shooting back perfectly. None of them missed. Nicky D had some insane playmaking abilities in both the Cell Hill and on Grave. I just don't think OpTic can come with that mentality that, hey, we're going to outslay these guys and beat them, because it won't happen.
For me, someone gave me that box score. What happened on Cell Block? I think OpTic got 1 point.
I think so.
It was Cell Block, you know, the prisoners were OpTic Gaming in that one, and for me going forward, Saints changed it around 1 point. They're 104 to 1. That is just...
I want to point something more crazy out. Slack, individually had more hill time than OpTic Gaming combined. That really tells you the kind of performance he was having there as well. But in terms of the rotations chance, that was what really stood out to you. OpTic Gaming just not rotating well enough.
Well, yeah, I mean, they had 2 good rotations where they got there earlier, and they did it on Grave, and they got, 55 seconds to nothing. Even on Commissary, they had a decent amount of hill time. But yeah, I mean, cell block, what more do you need to say? They're not getting there first. They're losing the important gunfights. I think the game basically opened up. Octane went on a flank around, had that one-on-one duel with Formal. He takes him down, and then they proceed to get that full 60. Like, again, OG wasn't even contesting that hill. It was, they were just getting slayed out miles before they ever got there. It was really abusive.
Like you said, they're not rotating. They think they can just hit the front of the hill and break them because of their gun skill. And where that may be true against most teams, it's not versus Luminosity. You're running into an Octane who hasn't missed all weekend long. He's had one of the most impressive main AR performances that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
It just, like, you gotta work as a team versus, and OpTic wasn't doing it.
Very true, very true. Then, of course, we head over to a Search and Destroy. And this was a thriller, an absolute thriller. It started off, of course, with Luminosity in full control. They were playing perfect, right? They were playing that kind of play style which has worked for them all weekend. They group, and they basically retake bomb sites as if they're trying to break hardpoints. Then all of a sudden, they stop. They start splitting up. They start, playing opposite sides of the map. There seemed to be just kind of lack of communication coming in from Luminosity. But the key round, Momo, was 5-3 in LG's favor. That was really the turning point.
It really was. We saw, first blood go into Karma. LG stopped what they were doing, which worked so well. They stopped just sticking together. They completely gave up the platform. Karma got a nice 2-piece there, 4v2. They win the round. Moving on from that, though, it just went from bad to worse.
I mean, yeah, you're wasting camo, which you absolutely cannot do in Search and Destroy, not at this level. And a couple bad, just individual plays as well. There was a moment where Classic goes and spots OpTic Gaming planting the bomb over by B, can shoot 2 players in the back, doesn't finish the kill, runs away, and then he gets first blooded by Crim6. They were just throwing rounds away.
For me, it's like, LG, OpTic is one of the most punishing teams in the game. You can't waste rounds like that. Like, that camo play was just, there was no sense in that. He camoed the low street knowing there was people in bar. Just made a kind of, hey, I'm going to do this, guys, type of play. You can't do that versus OpTic.
It was an overconfident play, right?
Right.
They're up 5-1. They think, let's just close it out here. But you can't,
just
as you
keep
said.
sticking to the game plan of what's working for you guys.
Yeah, and for me as well, Karma, Captain Clutch, comes up again. In round 10, it's not only to put them into that round 11, he wins that one-on-one versus Slack. Slack flanks right around the back, and he wins that kind of bit of a melee. It was kind of a 50-50, but after winning that, he then goes on to win another gunfight. Then he goes into round 11 with Streaks, which obviously got him that. Trinity Rocket comes in, and from there, it was just all Karma and 6-5 again. I honestly threw my paper. I was like, the series is over at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, I sat back there and listened to their comms pretty much the entire Search and Destroy. As soon as Karma got that Trinity Rocket, they started freaking out before that round. They're like, all right, guys, we're going to go to A, get this bomb down. And weirdly enough, Karma at some point was like, I'm just going to call it in. Like, not waiting for the bomb to go down. He's just like, I'm going to do it now. And it worked perfectly because Formal had even said in the past, they don't know we have this Trinity Rocket. LG did not keep track of the streaks well enough. And you can see they had dudes playing out in the open back at Grave over in Market that got picked off. So if they just recognized the fact that the other team had a Trinity, it's much easier to sit inside, and if they burn it early, it's a much more interesting round.
Very true. Obviously, Aches, you're no stranger to big Search and Destroy comebacks yourself. How do you approach those situations? What goes through your mind?
You play with full confidence, right? You know you're back against the wall. You got nothing to lose. There's no mistake you can make. You just go as a team, and you beat them. And that's what OpTic did. They didn't make a mistake. They played confident. That, for me, it was that round where Damon killed Slack. If Slack got that 2-piece, that game was over. But so Damon was my MVP for that map.
Very true, very true. Then we move over to map number 3, and as Momo said, we go in thinking, oh, this is done. This is completely over. There's no way Luminosity can come out and have a good performance here. OpTic should have all the momentum after that, but it just wasn't the case. Again, Octane, for lack of a better word, just having his way with Formal. He starts off 8-2, Formal at 0-4. LG, of course, had the lead at that point. But it was just another one of those performances from him.
Yeah, it really was. The amount of times that I screamed Octane's name like a little girl up here, I was just so impressed. It was ridiculous. It wasn't just Octane. Yes, he did finish 31 and 21. Slack for me, Saints for me was a player I was watching from the get-go on this series. He's always been a player for me that's maybe underperformed in the big games. And this game so far, he performed well in the first Hardpoint. He played fantastic in that Uplink, and going forward, he obviously continues to do so. But props to the whole of the squad there to recompose.
Yeah, and I think the most impressive thing for me was just the amount of mid-map control that Luminosity had. I swear, if you go back and watch that, OpTic barely crossed mid-map at all. They had like 2 scoring opportunities. They scored both times, but it happened twice. In a 10-minute game, OpTic Gaming was struggling. LG all just posted up across mid-map, and again, Octane and Saints, as you pointed out, just shredded the entire time. They outslayed them by 19 kills.
Yeah, so they did go plus 19 as a team, and that mainly was Octane and Saints, as the other 2 went even. But for me, it's like, what makes Formal so good on OpTic, right? He had Scump in his front lines, Krim in his front lines. I didn't really feel like OpTic had any team play that map. It was so many split pushes and just flanking. I know Krim, he did the same thing in CTF and Black Ops 3 sometimes, and it hurt them. Too much flanking, just, you have the slaying power, go head-to-head with these guys and play as a team, and they weren't doing it, and Octane and Saints punished.
Obviously, you mentioned as well, Saints had a fantastic map, but I think he kind of made that game-winning play right at the very end there.
A really good point, and it's one thing I did want to touch on. He had that reactive armor, and we were questioning when they were, running back with the drone as well, kind of, why they go into bus. The drone gets put forward, and he's in a bit of an obscure position, but he has that payload, and of course, having that reactive armor, he pops it, he gets 2 kills. I think he damages the third. He might even have picked it up, but he just bides like 20-30 seconds for his team, puts the game to bed, and of course, taking the uplink, a huge step to success versus OpTic Gaming.
So for me, in that last minute when I was observing, Saints actually snuck down low and got there with his reactive. I was waiting to switch to him, but I was wanting to see whether the kills went at the ball. And then once I saw LG throw it, I'm like, oh no, they just made the play. And then Saints obviously made the sick 3-piece at the limit side.
Yeah, it was a kind of smart play from Classic, right? He's saying, all right, if I have the drone, throw it back to my side, we should be okay. But then all of a sudden you see a couple players die, you're thinking, wait a minute, is this a throw? And then obviously Saints comes up clutch.
Yeah, and you saw LG a couple times was trying to make those sneaky plays. There was one moment where they sent a single player mid-map to grab the drone and throw it through the tunnel, and the Force had the overdrive on the other side of things. They obviously did not get the best use out of it, but it's one of those things. You outslayed by 19 kills and you only win by a single point. That's obviously not what you want to have happen. But again, that's what we used to say about OpTic. If you do that and you win, it works for you.
Well, at that point, LG up 2-1 in the series. You go over to a map number 4. It's another Hardpoint. Kind of a similar story to the first one. It really was. LG, they come out, they take it, and they cause a massive, massive upset here at Stage 1 playoffs.
Yeah, they really do. And again, I've just got to touch on the 2 players that I've continually, spoke about. No disrespect to Classic or Slack, but Saints performing as a big game player again. But Octane, up here, it was just incredible. He finished 30 and 13. Out of his respawn, a quick fact for you guys at home, he was 81 and 49 against OpTic Gaming. It's a positive 32 across the series. He went +5, +10, +7. What more can you ask from a player that's going head-to-head against Formal?
I mean, I feel the big question is, does he keep that up?
Of course, I've seen it from all weekend. Even yesterday, he played well, even though they lost. He was on fire. For me, it's like, it wasn't even the Octane versus Formal battle. It was the Octane versus OpTic battle. No one was touching him. He was unstoppable that entire series. +32 versus a single team, especially OpTic Gaming, is absurd.
Bro, if I'm like Splice in FaZe watching this game, I'm terrified. You know how important that just became? No one wants to face LG. You want to see them in the finals, that's it. If either of those teams loses, it's massive. Because one, you're going to have to go beat an LG that looks fierce as all hell, and then you got to go back and beat the team that just beat you in a double best-of-5. Like, that is a huge match coming up next. It's massive.
Cannot wait. Championship Sunday really getting underway.
Yeah, the last thing that I wanted to touch on, a lot of people were really frustrated with the last time these 2 matched up, and OpTic Gaming took it. I think it was 3-1 or 3-2, and everyone was saying, like, LG could have won that 4-0, and just kind of showing how strong LG really are. They could have won that series 4-0 again. That 5-1 choke, if you like. I'm glad they recomposed, but there's definitely cracks in OpTic Gaming. That's been shown today, and LG are looking so strong to take this tournament.
Well, still plenty of Call of Duty action to be played here at Championship Sunday of the Stage 1 playoffs, but we should advertise a little bit. Anaheim, yes, you know it. We're going to keep talking about it because it really is just that good. June 16th to June 18th, $200,000 on the line at the Anaheim Convention Center. The atmosphere at Anaheim, if it's going to be your first event, it is truly going to be electric. But the first game of Championship Sunday is now over here at the Stage 1 playoffs, and boy, oh boy, was it a thriller. LG progressed through to the losers bracket final. For OpTic Gaming, however, it's a disappointing top 4 finish. Up next on the main stage here at the Call of Duty Global Pro League, it's winners bracket final time when we return an on-fire FaZe clan takes on the best of Europe, Splice.